Hey, how you doing? When I was a kid, we used to have a subscription to National Geographic, and I used to just pore over those photographs and look at all the exotic places they were when they were doing that photographic work, and just dream of being out there doing that kind of thing. And well, life didn't exactly go that way, so now I'm kind of in a ghetto here, so I never gave up my dream of photography. But anyway, I think I've got something rather unique photographed here and a video of it. Now, Linda Moulton Howe mentioned self-activated software, and I had to think about that for a long time. Speaking of a long time, I've had this particular video for over a year, and I've been going over it occasionally trying to figure out what it is that I'm actually looking at here. Now, this has been put through a filter right here, and it reveals that inner coil that I've seen in so many other things that I've filmed and photographed. And I'm beginning to wonder exactly what it is that we're looking at here. If this isn't some kind of metamaterial that does have some kind of self-activated software in it, or if this is not a life form and I'm kind of waffling between a machine and a life form. Now, when I first photographed it, I was convinced that it was just an airplane in the distance. But the more I went over it, the less I thought that was the reality of it. I think what we're seeing here is something dividing itself in mid-flight, one object becoming two. And I'm sure you've heard people describe orbs or ships or whatever they saw flying that all of a sudden turned into two or three different ones and went off flying around and then came back into one unit again. And that's exactly what I think I'm looking at here. Like I said, these are screen grabs of this video that have been put through a filter. And you can see what I think is a magnetic resonance of metamaterial being activated and energized, or else we've got some spooky communication at a distance, and it's just continuing on. Now this is the video here, and I was trying to zoom in and out, and then I kind of gave up on that and just started filming it. Now what happens here, when I saw it, I mean, it's really small on the screen, it's at night, and so it just looks like an airplane with a strobe going. But then I started doing a little bit more analyzing of it, and it just can't be that. There's just no way. This is coming at me, so that light on the left in the video should be a green light, avoidance light, and the one on the right, as we're looking at it, should be red. And keep that in mind when you're looking at some of the screen grabs of this thing. I mean, what I thought it was just the wing, the plane was turning, and I was seeing both wing tips at the same time. But now this is one of the screen grabs, and you see this loosely based six-sided configuration here. And this is right before the birth, if you will, or the division of this object into two different objects. And you notice how powered up this thing is right before that happens. It's sort of pulsing, and you can start seeing the other object emerge from the left-hand side. And they're both exactly the same color at this point, with the primary unit having a little bit more energy to it than the other one. And now this is either a little bit of camera movement or they're changing shape. Neither one would surprise me here. But you can see the energy level on the right hand side of the original object is much more intense than the one on the left, and then the one on the left starts powering up and imitating the mothership, so to speak, and slowly pulling away from it. Now, either that's what's happening, or it's just a you know um, lens flare or whatever you might call it. But now this is a screen grab again, like I said, and this just is not an airplane. Airplanes don't have orange lights on them, and the other one just goes completely powered up and then back to red. So that cannot be a wingtip light or an avoidance light of an aircraft. So it's got to be something entirely different. That right wingtip, as it's on the left, but it's coming toward me, so that would be the right wingtip over here. And there's no reason in the world that it would go from white to red. That would be too confusing. So it cannot be an airplane at all. And then the one over there on the right is gone to a yellowish orange. So this is not an airplane. So with that having been said, what in the world are we looking at here? This is either a live object of some kind, or it's something that is so advanced with that self-activating software that it is capable of replicating itself in mid-flight. Either way, it's just extremely fascinating in my opinion. Incredible. And you can see consistently the identical configuration of the shape itself. So it's simply replicating itself somehow. And how it's doing it or what it is sort of beyond me. It can only fall into so many different categories. It's either got to be an airplane, which, I have to completely rule that out, or it's some kind of advanced craft that's capable of reproducing itself, or it's a life form. There's only so many different possibilities, and no matter what, I just find it extremely fascinating. Anyway, that's all I got for now. And I've been sitting on this video, like I said, for a year, over a year now, trying to figure out exactly what it is I'm looking at here. So if you have a different opinion about it, feel free to let me know. I'm open to all possibilities here. So if you watched all the way through, appreciate it. And take care out there, whatever you do. Thanks again for watching.